Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 214 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name is Geige. I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's definitely been a fun week. For anyone new here, you can tell that Dan and I, or for everyone here, or if you're not new, you can tell that Dan and I are in a different location today. So we're actually traveling for work, and we're on sort of hotel Wi-Fi. So if we cut out or anything, we'll try to correct it ASAP. But our setups are definitely a little bit different. I'm on like the laptop trackpad and stuff, but we'll do our best. And yeah, for anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific. We do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow that you all do with your own shows and productions. Two is to answer any of your questions. That's why we're calling it Ask StreamYard. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to as many as we possibly can. And I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. And before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows. So definitely check out the YouTube channel for some of those. We recently had YouTube channel reviews with Daniel and Dee, which are the second Saturday of every month. A really fun show where they go in depth on individual folks' YouTube channels to give insights in terms of like how should I be thinking about thumbnails or my analytics or my audience. Really great insights there. So definitely check the most recent one out, and all of them actually are great. And then enhance your live streams for live stream specific advice. Check that out with Nick Dimon, who's a pro when it comes to all things video. And then one thing we've been doing at the start of these is so that we get to know a little bit more about you. You get to know a little bit more about us as a fun fact. Might be a little bit of a weird fun fact, since I assume since you're all tuning in tonight that maybe you're less or maybe you're watching it at the same time. But curious if you're rooting for anyone in the Super Bowl, and if you are rooting for someone, who that is. Do you have a preference for the Super Bowl, Dan?
So football is not really my sport. Hockey was always my sport. And then of the football teams out there, I would say I'm a Cowboys fan, Dallas Cowboys. So I don't really have a dog in the fight, as I would say. I'm not really rooting for anyone. It's one of those things where I'm not even watching it, but if I was watching, I just like seeing it a good game. Like I hope it's a close, cool, entertaining game, and that's about it for me. How about you?
Cool. Yeah, personally, I'm not super invested in it. We do have a team member, Julie, on who manages our social and community stuff, who is very passionate about Kansas winning. So on her behalf, I am rooting for Kansas.
Cool. I like the comment. I'm rooting for Rihanna. I assume she's the halftime show.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, the halftime show is always good. Folks also usually get really excited about the commercials and stuff.
Yeah,
we do have a couple exciting things to recap. So as you can actually see here, because Dan and I have it on, is headlines are fully available. So you can use these as of today, right now, in your shows. We talked through it last time, but we do actually have a video walking through exactly how it works. Should I go ahead and play the headlines announcement, Dan?
Let's do it.
Cool. Let's run it.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm happy to announce that StreamYard's just launched Headlines. Headlines are a secondary name tag. You can choose to display a job title, a social media handle, or any other text below your name tag. Once the host enables Headlines, any participant in the studio can choose to add a headline. I'll show you how it works. As a host, I enter the studio and then I click on the brand tab here on the right. Under the theme, you'll see a new toggle called Headlines. Click the toggle to enable headlines and make sure display names are also enabled. Once they're enabled, you'll be prompted to add your headline. You can put your job title, your social media handles, or any other text you'd like. I'll put my job title. And now, every participant will see a new input when they enter the studio called Headlines. You'll see this when you come back into the studio too. Headlines are optional, even if you have them enabled. Need to change your headline? Simply click the three dots on the video card here at the bottom. Then click Edit Name and Headline. If you don't see the headlines input, simply enter the studio and enable them first. Then you'll be able to add yours. The headlines are here to match your brand. We have 4 different themes here at StreamYard that affect how the headlines look. You can toggle through each one of them to see which one fits your brand the best. My favorite is Bubble. You and your guests can now feature your job title, your social media handles, or any other text you want to feature below your name tag. We're excited to see how you use headlines. Happy streaming!
Awesome. So yeah, hopefully all of you are excited about it. Many of you probably already had the chance to use it. So if you have used it and you have any feedback for us, definitely let us know any suggestions that you have. I see we already have quite a few questions and comments here. One of those was from Creative Lady. Happy Sunday. Any plans for bulk deletion of overlays? Do you want to take that one, Dan?
Yeah, I'd love to. So yes, I would say yes, we do have plans for it. It's not something where we've already have it designed and it's about to roll out or something, but I know it comes up once in a while in here. I definitely get the need for it. We have bulk uploading of overlays now, but not bulk deleting. So yeah, not something that's coming in the next couple of weeks or anything, but it is something we would like to address.
Cool. Yeah, definitely all for stuff to make the studio experience easier. So stay tuned on that. Arabia says, how do I drop the link so people in the chat can join my panel while I'm on my phone? So I would caution that it's usually not a good idea to just publicly share your StreamYard link to have random people joining. That being said, you can do it, and we do have a few features to make it a little bit easier. Like you can force folks to have to log in with YouTube or other social channels, so you at least know who's joining the studio and have the ability to boot them out. But the easiest way to do it would be simply in the comment section of your studio to just paste in the StreamYard link, right, Dan?
I think so. Yeah. So even on your phone, if you're on mobile, which you said there's still a section where you can comment. So you could comment to YouTube, Facebook, etc. Send out that link. Be careful, like Geige said. But yeah, that's the easiest way to do it.
Cool. Yeah, definitely would recommend vetting everyone beforehand and having it planned is usually the safest bet. But I know some folks it is fun to be able to do it dynamically. So
yeah, you can also put it in your description too. When you could create the broadcast and then edit the broadcast and put the StreamYard link in the description.
Cool. Hiroshi's wondering if the headline is sort of dynamic and be changed while on the studio. It seems like it can be changed before. Yes, Hiroshi, it can be changed at any time, before, during, after. Do you want to maybe show like updating yours, Dan? Like this is another headline or something.
But I spent so much time thinking about this one.
Yeah, fair enough. There we go. Cool. Let's see what else.
I'll switch that back so people coming in later aren't wondering what on earth that's all about. But yeah, you can edit it on the fly, and you can also show and hide it on the fly, right? So let me just talk about that really quickly. So if we wanted to just get rid of headlines, we can just turn them off, put them back on.
Yeah.
Of course, we can get rid of names and headlines.
Cool. So we have lots of other comments we'll get to, but I want to make sure that I mention it, that shorts and reels, like we've talked about in past weeks, is now fully available to 100% of users. It was slowly rolling out over the last couple of weeks, but now all of you should have access. We're really excited about it. It's a big step towards making repurposing and sort of making your streams go further than just the live stream itself and giving folks more tools to sort of build audiences on other channels and forums. It's just the start. So the first version is pretty simple, where we're making a vertical format by sort of adding padding at the top and bottom, but we want to go much further than that. And we do plan on adding lots of functionality, but any initial feedback you have on it is certainly very welcome. We'd love to hear your experiences with it so far.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Let's see what else we had here. Paranormal says, question/suggestion, being able to upload images into the studio. So I assume you already know, Paranormal, that you can upload images sort of as overlays and scroll through them that way. You can also upload a PDF slide deck, which I know a lot of folks will do, is basically just drop individual images into a slide deck, export it as a PDF, and just upload that into StreamYard. But we are open to having more flexibility when it comes to just dragging and dropping images in as well.
Yep. Yeah, and also be curious, like Geige mentioned, I'm guessing you already know you can do that as an overlay, but if not, that's definitely good to know. Like that's something we do in both our intro and outro. But yeah, I'd be curious if there's anything else you'd want. Like, would you want it to behave more like a screen share where you upload the image and it just takes up part of the screen and then you're still visible on the side, unlike an overlay which covers the entire thing? Or is there anything else you'd really want to have with image sharing?
Cool. Sounds like it's working well for lots of folks. Dale says, did a reel just to try it out. Worked great.
Cool.
Creative Lady says, happy to have shorts and reels. Used it to drop my video into Canva frames. That's awesome.
Cool.
Let's see what else we had here. Another one for Paranormal. Any plans for allowing over an hour rebroadcasting on all plans. So we do have, I assume you mean like the pre-recorded streaming paranormal. So we do have different limits on the different plans. We don't have any current plans to change the existing limits, but we are always changing plans based on feedback from folks. So it's good to know that that is something you'd like to see, and it is noted. All right. Annie says, question, would it be possible to allow admin/team members to comment on live chat as themselves connected to their own social media account? Yes, that's a great suggestion. It's come up quite a few times, Annie. We are working on something similar that will be coming pretty soon. It's not, I guess you want to take that one, Dan? Talk a little bit about the social accounts.
Yeah, so yeah, like Gabe said, it's not something we have yet, and we just want to make sure we do it correctly because sometimes it can be a little confusing. I guess I won't get into too much detail, but yes, we would love to eventually have that, where you can essentially log into the chat. Say Geige had a YouTube channel, and we were streaming to Geige's channel, but then I want to log in with my YouTube channel and comment on his stream. I think that is something we would like to support. I don't know when that's coming. Like, it's not something that we have planned for the next few weeks, but it does come up fairly often, so we would like to have that. And I think we'd probably start with YouTube. I don't know. It gets a little trickier with Facebook and some of the other platforms, but YouTube, I think, is the biggest request from everyone anyways.
Yeah, so stay tuned, Annie. Purpose-Driven Creation says, are you able to go live on 2 different devices with one account? So you can join as your own guest, Purpose-Driven. So say you have, another device, another phone, another computer. You can actually join that in the same broadcast to give yourself sort of another viewpoint. Let's see what else we had here. Michelle says, is there any way to record vertically instead of always horizontal? That's a good question, Michelle. So previously, we were pretty much just focused on horizontal because that was the vast majority of platforms that actually had the API integration to support. But especially now that Instagram, they still don't have a formal API, but they are starting to test custom RTMP. It's a pretty small percentage of folks that have access to it, but they are starting to test it. And obviously for platforms like Instagram, vertical is much better because it does get cropped. So sort of long-winded way of saying vertical video is now a priority of ours, and we do plan on supporting it. So stay tuned on that.
Yep.
SMA says Daniel and D's stream was great. Awesome. Happy to hear that.
Cool.
Shamprick says, watching you guys after my 6.2K swim and drinking my coffee from my SY mug. That's super impressive, Shamprick. Awesome. Glad it was a good swim.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like 6.2K just running is a lot. Swimming is next level difficult.
Mystery Sky says, I need to find someone that can help me behind the scenes and guide me how to make I think that's intros, where and downloads. Where can I find someone like that? That's a good question, Mystery Sky. So we do have a lot of producer type folks in our community group. So if you go to Facebook and type in StreamYard community, the first one that pop up should be like the StreamYard official community. I would join there and ask around there. There's a lot of good resources from there. If you reach out to support, I think they also have some links of trusted producers that we've worked with in the past. So if you go to streamyard.com/contact, you can also message them there. There might also be a support article that has some links.
Yep. And also, if you're just looking for some guides or videos, we do have a lot of stuff on our YouTube channel. Or if you go into support and start typing whatever you need help with, there's a lot of docs that'll come up, or sometimes the person on live chat can just help you out as well.
Awesome, Michelle. I'm glad you're enjoying the new features.
Cool.
Let's see what else we had here. Kathy says, are there tutorial videos in the help section somewhere? So yes, so most help docs that you'll find if you go to streamyard.com/contact, within the message bubble, it links out to the support center. There's often videos embedded within the articles themselves that are often hosted on YouTube. Most tutorials that we have will have a video component for folks that prefer watching versus reading.
Yep.
DR Test says, does the Reels feature work with a 3-person setup? Yes, absolutely. That was one of the big goals, is making sure that the StreamYard content you create with, even if it's 12 people or whatever you have going on screen, that we repurpose it and edit it in such a way that it will fully be captured on the platforms. And it is pretty simple how we're doing that now. It's just with the padding at the top and bottom, but it will work with whatever setup you have. And again, there will be more options in the future.
Yep.
Budgeting just because says, is there any way to save or print the live chat? So not currently budgeting. There are some rules with the various streaming platforms in terms of what is allowed to be saved outside of the platform itself. So right now, the best way to go back to the chat, unfortunately, is just to go to your past broadcasts and individually go out to the platforms that you streamed on. No, it's not a great solution, and we would love to support it if it becomes possible in the future.
Yep.
All right.
Kathy was wondering about where to look for all the reels info.
So if you go to our YouTube channel, Kathy, if you just go to youtube.com/StreamYard or type in StreamYard on YouTube, it should be one of the most recent videos on there. Also, if you haven't been to StreamYard in a while, all the latest features always pop up in video format. Maybe you already closed out of it, but if you haven't, if you just go to StreamYard, it'll pop right up and you can watch it. Or just search in the support articles. We'll have the video in there as well.
And just to walk you through it too. So if you're on StreamYard on the dashboard, there's a videos tab on the left. So if you click into that, you'll see all your past recordings. So every time you've gone live, if you're on a paid plan, we record all of your streams in StreamYard. If you're on a free plan, we'll record it if you just did a recording. If you're streaming, we won't record that. But anyways, all of the recordings end up in that videos tab. You just click on the video you want to repurpose. There you'll see this big trim and repurpose button, and that's where you click to be able to create the short really easily from your recording. And you can create as many as you want. So if you had a 45-minute recording or live stream, you might want to then cut 10 different chunks out of that and post them off to social. That's totally fine.
Cool. Christina says, question, with video overlays, is there a possibility with like alpha channels in the future for doing animated lower thirds? That's a great question, Christina. So one alternative that we do have now is you can do transparent GIFs, and I have seen some folks do it really professionally where it looks awesome, and they have exactly what you mentioned, sort of an animated lower third that pops in. And we would like to support alpha channels for videos in the future. The only reason we haven't had it historically was to make sure we had great device support for guests joining, because sometimes those types of formats don't work for guests. But we do know that it's really important for folks to have that. So we do plan on adding it and finding workarounds for devices that don't support it. All right. Let's see what else we had here. Tangled Stitch says, appreciate the dedication that the Super Bowl didn't pull you away. Not huge Super Bowl fans, but can't miss the town hall. So absolutely.
I do think this is, because we always do this on Sundays and Super Bowl is always on Sundays. This is now the 5th year we've missed the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And actually, the first time we missed it, we didn't even know it was the Super Bowl.
We'd forgotten.
It's not our main sport, as Geige said.
Britt says, can you use headlines with the bottom banner? I'm not sure if I understand what bottom. You want to take that one?
Yeah, I think I understood this one. So I'm just trying to find an example banner. So I think, let me put one up. So with this, we get rid of the names and headlines. Now we've always done that. We've always gotten, and you can see the name and headline comes back, goes away, comes back. It's something we've always done, in part because in a lot of layouts, it'll get covered by the banner. So the names are partially covered or fully covered, and it doesn't look very good. And then also just kind of helps the users focus on the banner a little bit more. But I get that some people want to keep those on. So if that's what you're asking, I'm not sure if we're going to add that or not. But if you could also just clarify if that is indeed what you want, or if I'm totally off, that'd be great.
Cool. Adrian says, why do uploaded overlays sometimes disappear from your branded folder? So they should never disappear, Adrian, unless you've deleted them. My best guess would be maybe you made another brand folder and you're sort of in a different folder, or maybe if you have a team members on your StreamYard account, maybe someone else deleted them, but they should never disappear. Let's see what else we had here. Folks are saying the halftime show was pretty good. Awesome.
Cool. Do they usually
Rochelle,
play the commercials at halftime as well, or is it at the end?
Commercials go throughout the whole thing.
Whole thing. Okay. Got it.
Like in between stuff. I mean, I think that's how it works.
Okay.
Rochelle says, is there a way to add music in StreamYard when recording, or add it in after going live and have the video pushed out after cleaning up the edits? Yeah, that's a good question, Rochelle. You have various options there. So you can add in music in StreamYard while recording, so you can do it live. We have the ability to upload music tracks. We also have built-in music tracks, so you can do it live. But another option that people do use is, as you pointed out, you can edit StreamYard after the fact, especially now that we have the local recording feature, which is really cool. Like if you're looking to capture, it would be, for example, it would be a good feature for Dan and I to use now if we wanted to have a high quality version in post that we edited because we're on like hotel internet right now. Is the way local recordings works. You can capture this local feed from you and your guests, so you have a high quality feed that's not sort of at the mercy of your internet connection, and then edit it in like Premiere or other editing tools. But anyways, the reason I mentioned that is, yes, so you can do the recording on StreamYard and then put it in an editing tool and add music after the fact and get it exactly how you want, and then even re-upload that back into StreamYard as a pre-recorded stream and stream that out at a later date. So you have all kinds of options there.
Yep.
Rochelle also says, is there a limit on how many brand profiles you can have under one StreamYard profile? So there is a limit, Rochelle, but we tried to make it pretty high so that folks would be unlikely to run into it. But I think is it 20, Dan? You can have 20 brands?
I think it's 10.
10 brands.
10.
So.
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, Eileen, hope you're doing well. Yusuf says, have y'all ever thought of adding like transition, fades, wipes, etc.? Yes, it's definitely come up, Yusuf. And it is part of something I've alluded to over the past few streams, that one thing that our design and product team is working on in the background that's really, really exciting is giving folks that are looking for some of that more advanced customization when it comes to their run a show, an option that is not bloated or complicated. So folks that are looking for an easy experience, that don't really want to deal with that stuff, won't really have to engage with it, but unlocking a ton of power under the hood to give you flexibility when it comes to things like you mentioned, and then also the layouts and how all of that sort of runs together. Because you can do it now, but right now it does require quite a bit of like coordination and planning versus being able to prepare it beforehand. So we're really, really excited for that and can't wait until we can actually demo it for you and share more.
I think that probably covers this question a bit as well.
Yeah, from Mista, is there a way to modify the size of the layout window when sharing on screen? There's just those 3 views. So yeah, the exact same answer, Mista. So not yet, but again, we have some really, really exciting work going on. I've been loving the reviews with our design team, walking through exactly how it's going to work. I think they've done it in a really, really nice way that will unlock the potential to do it, to sort of address exactly what you're asking, but not yet. Amith says, just joined. When you use the repurpose feature, would it harm the original video recording? Can I download the original video just like earlier? So it doesn't do anything to the original, Amith. Same thing with all our trimming and editing features. It's always it's always separate from the original recording, so it doesn't have any impact on that recording.
Yep. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, definitely don't want that. Cool. Well, we do a few more questions here, Dan. Should we go ahead and queue up the giveaway tool?
Let's do it.
There was actually one other question I was curious about from all of you tonight, if we have time, and that was, it's been a while since we talked about online events, but StreamYard obviously is part of a virtual events company. So one thing I was curious to check in on, since it has been so long since we actually talked about virtual events, is how many of you host online events sort of outside? I know sometimes people think of like live streams as a type of event, but outside of the live streams that you do, how many of you are hosting sort of a private online event with like registration? Curious how many of you choose to do that as part of your sort of community building exercises.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, the giveaway for tonight looks like quite a few of you are already familiar, but to be eligible, all you have to do is type in hashtag the yard. We'll only count once, no matter how many times you type it in. And tonight we'll be giving away how about we do the StreamYard sweater and the StreamYard plush duck. We'll give you maybe 10 seconds or so to get in your hashtag the yards. And if you're ever interested in doing a giveaway like this yourself, we actually made this tool publicly available, so you can access it at streamyard.com/giveaway. And there's a video walking through how to use it there as well. I think that number's climbing, so maybe we have time for one more question while we wait. Mika says, how do I use an event on Facebook or a YouTube audience? That's a good question. So I did mean sort of events outside of Facebook and YouTube. It's just sometimes folks call it that. But as an example of like how you might use an event is, say you've built up like this incredible audience on YouTube and Facebook, like you have avid, subscribers that and followers that are watching your content. It might be cool for maybe some subset of them that are interested in a particular subject, or that are maybe they're folks that are paying for a product you sell or a course that you sell, to have sort of an exclusive type experience. Like that's often when someone would run an event. Hopefully I understood the question correctly.
Yep. Cool.
Right.
Probably give it
Number
10 more seconds. It's close. It's
Okay.
close to stabilizing.
All right. Outside the box says the max quality at the moment for StreamYard is 1080p. Will StreamYard have 4K as an option in the near future? If you know, thanks in advance. So as hardware improves and as devices improve, quality naturally goes up outside the box. So we likely will support 4K at some point. The thing with 4K with live streaming specifically is there still are quite a few platforms that don't even support 4K at all. Like you can't even stream to them in 4K. In fact, there's only a handful of them that actually do. So that's one reason why 1080 for quite a long time has been the highest quality that we supported. But as that sort of changes and as 4K becomes more common, we certainly will support it, and likely support it as a recording option sooner than a live streaming option. And any other thoughts on that one? And I guess the other thing to keep in mind is when you are doing a 4K stream, the intensity when it comes to like not just you, but also your guest computers of having to consume a 4K feed and deal with a 4K feed, there's definitely a pretty significant cost when it comes to actually streaming in 4K for you individually, unless everyone that's participating in the stream has the equipment that's capable of dealing with that high of bandwidth of a feed.
Yep. All right, let's do this draw. What are we giving away, Geige?
The StreamYard sweater and a StreamYard duck, the plush duck.
Cool. Good luck, everyone.
Hey, congrats. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you could shoot an email to contact@streamyard.com, we'll work with you to get your location and your size and ship you your StreamYard duck and your StreamYard sweater. Cool. And with that, this was episode 214 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us, especially on Super Bowl Sunday. And so it's really, really cool for you to still tune in and hang out with us and share your topics and questions. But yeah, we'll be here at the same time next week, and we will see you then.
Cool. See you next week, everyone.